Welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Tuesday. We're joined by LB. Aaron talks football and Positive Dan. Loads to go through today and discuss and to debate. Champions preview. A preview on the show today for the Champions League is coming. We're talking about the potential of Michael Carrick becoming the new Manchester United manager on an interim basis with the pending doom. The axe is ready to be yielded on Ruben Amorim. We, of course, are going to be discussing Chelsea getting destroyed 3-1 at the weekend. I'm sure LB's got a few choice words to say about those back-to-back, who knows, back-to-back defeats. And Arsenal at the weekend sending a scary message with their demolition job, performance-wise against Newcastle, but getting that job done the way they did, outclassing Newcastle for the most of the 90 minutes. We're going to get the boys' view and opinions on that. Plus, I want to touch on City as well. Are they reborn? Is LB now feeling excited about the season? Because only 3 weeks ago, he basically was like, nah, can't win it. Has his mind changed? All that and more on Straight Facts this afternoon. But like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Gentlemen, how are we all?
Amazing. Couldn't be better. Couldn't be better after that weekend. Perfect weekend. Apart from City winning, everything was just perfect.
Yeah, it's all right.
Been a good week for us, mate. Not for you, mate. You know what I mean?
Mate, listen, you guys might not have seen the announcement because YouTube's not putting out the notifications like it used to, but Friday morning I officially was signed on loan until January at Arsenal Football Club, so I'm there. It was a fantastic weekend. Our Ops Man United lost first game, Spurs dropped points, Liverpool dropped points, so yeah, it was a good weekend, and I'm not ready to say us yet. I don't think I need to be there a little bit longer, but yeah, on loan at the Gunners. Looking forward to the season ahead now. So thank you very much, Artetsa, for putting faith in me. You're going to see the best version. I know I'm at the end of my career, but you're going to see the best version ever of me. I'm going to do a Raheem Sterling here. You know, I'm stronger, fitter, faster. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Don't do that, whatever you do.
Blue Viper says Terry is a top cheerleader for Arsenal. When Arsenal were going up against City and Liverpool, my biggest rivals, yes, absolutely right. If it was Chelsea,
that's what real Man United fans do, right, Terry?
If it was Chelsea versus Arsenal in the title race, I'd want Chelsea to win it. If it was Spurs versus Chelsea or Arsenal in the title race, I want Spurs to win it. If Crystal Palace keep up what they're doing, I want Palace to win it. The point is, if my team can't win the league, I'll go in pecking order of biggest rivals. And there's no Man United fan on earth worth his or her salt that would ever pick Liverpool or City winning a title over Arsenal. Even you as a City fan, I challenge if you really love your club, if you think that or not, my friend.
Just quickly, if Arsenal had 20 league titles, would you say the same thing?
No. Actually, if you're going head-to-head with Liverpool, I'd rather you have 21 league titles than Liverpool, yes, because they're still my bigger rivals. Yeah. But if you were going up against Chelsea with their 6 or 7, with your 20, then it'd be Chelsea. Who I want to win is always based on what's best for my club. It's people always think of it as I remember when City won the league title a few years ago, the famous comeback against Villa late in the final day of the season. I was happy in that moment because it guaranteed stopping Liverpool doing a quad. Because I still think if they win that on that final day of the season, Liverpool, I think they might win that Champions League and complete the quad, and that for me is far more painful. So yeah, I always go with the best result for my club. I'm not one of these sort of like Blue Viper. I'm not sort of one of these online fans who cares about, Gal's going to be unbearable for a month. I couldn't care less. It's not important to me, but each to their own. Obviously, loads to go through today, gents. I wanted to start very quickly with a statistic. Can or should Ruben Amorim survive this? This shows the last 6 permanent managers at Man United, the points total they had after their first 33 games at the club. Significantly less than everybody else by a long, long way. Can any of you, even you, Positive Dan, right? Can any of you find a reason that he should be allowed to stay any longer?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was off there. No. Do you know why? I can't find a reason because I want him to stay. It means Manchester United will stay shit. So long may he continue. That is terrible. I heard a stat tell that he ain't won back-to-back games. That might be wrong,
That's true.
No, he hasn't.
Back to back. We might have won, including FA Cup and League Cup.
League games, isn't it?
But league games, he definitely hasn't. League games, definitely not.
Do you know what done it for me, Terry? When I saw they did it on Monday Night Football yesterday. Steve Keane. He's lost more games than Steve Keane. Now, if anyone says to me, picture the worst manager ever, that's who I picture. Steve Keane in the rain, in that Blackburn, in that coat, and he's lost more games than him. I'm sorry, man. Listen, the most positive Man United fan in the world, even yourself, Terry, you're very balanced. And I've seen that you now also want him to go. I'm not sure if that was a bit reactionary, but I'm sure 99% of United fans would want him out now. Surely.
Look, listen, it's not about, I get your point. I'm not reactionary. I was never someone that was fully Amorim in the sense of give him time no matter what. Don't criticize him. You're poisonous. You're toxic if you question him. Those Amorim in guys, they're not my people. The same as the out and out Amorim out guys. And you know, me and Dave were having a group chat earlier. He puts 100% accountability on where we currently sit in the league on Ruben Amorim. I'm not that far either. Our owners have to take some blame here with recruitment, hiring him in the first place. It may now look like not listening to Dan Ashworth and sacking him could be the wrong decision. I can't just ignore the wider issues at my club. Equally, I made a conscious decision to say there's some real bad signs, but I was willing to give him a pre-season, give him the start of the campaign, give him new players, 1 game a week as well, by the way, no excuse for no training, and then see where the land lies. I think I said before the Brentford game, I felt it was a sliding doors moment. Can we go back to back? I still don't take back all the things I said after the Arsenal game, after the Burnley game, the Chelsea game, even parts of the Fulham game. Those performances were so much better than the Brentford one. We didn't create any opportunities really in the Brentford game. We were trash. I don't think he's turning it round and he's got to go. But it's interesting the graphic I showed you, because that graphic got shared by Liez. Liez is a good friend of mine, big Man United fan, killing it in the industry. And he quote tweeted something that a lot of the Amorim inners are saying. This is the issue with the Amorim in and the Amorim outers. They lose all the nuance in the middle, because this is something they keep saying, that firing another manager is ignoring 13 years of failure and continuing the cycle. And the problem is it isn't, because he's got to go. What is ignoring that is thinking that he goes and we suddenly start becoming really competitive and really consistent again. And that's probably where I get really frustrated at the conversation, is that I feel like everything's really basic. And I got called out, people yesterday, we haven't got an average squad, Terry. Come on, it's all the manager. We're not average. I said, where do you think we'll finish if a manager gets us to perform to our best? They said about 8th. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, see, when you start talking these things out loud, there are bigger issues. But for me, he's got to go. It's just what we do next. And I'll be honest with you, lads, we can go into it in detail if you want. We can skip over it quickly. I'm not excited about any manager joining us. I don't care. For me right now, if it's Southgate, I'm not going to lose my mind. If it's Oliver Glasner, if it's Areola, if it's Xavi, I'm not going to be, we're back, we're cooking, it's going to be different this time. If we go for Carrick for a few months as an interim, I feel numb, boys. Numb.
I don't understand how he's surviving, man, to be honest with you. Like, I'm seeing nothing from Man United. You know what I mean? And let's be honest as well, right? Was anyone surprised by the Brentford's result? Like, no one was surprised. Like, you beat Chelsea and everyone was just like, yeah, you'll probably lose against Brentford next week. That's what United do. You know, United under Amorim, I think even under Ten Hag, you always did well against, you know, the better teams. Yeah. And as soon as you played the mid-level teams, that's where you struggled. So I can't believe the guy's in a job. I mean, that graph that you put on screen was absolutely ridiculous. He's the worst manager Man United have ever had since the World War. And I just don't think it's getting any better. And I know Amorim might say he's not going to change, but at the same time, you've got to get results. You've got to get the fans back in. You know, would it be so bad if Amorim came out to the fans and said, "Listen, I'm going to change it up a little bit, yeah, because we need results, but I'm not sticking with this style long term. I just need another transfer window, and next year we'll go back to the way I want to play. But right now, I need results." It just feels like he just wants to. It feels like he just continues down this path of trying to play a certain way, which does not work because United don't have the players for it. And, you know, you got to ask yourself the question, has he checked out? Does he want the sack?
LB, you come up with a great point because the media and people close to the club. I was working with Goldbridge this morning, and he knows a few people very close to the club who have said that he's quite isolated at training. What we would like to see as United fans, if he's staying, is, you know what, drop Luke Shaw, drop Maguire, change the formation a little bit, try something different, go for a Hail Mary to try and save yourself. But the only people he's talking to at the club are his leadership group. His leadership group include the likes of Delo, Maguire, Shaw, Bruno, who a lot of us think are either being played out of position or are not good enough. So therefore, we know he isn't going to drop those players. He's going to keep this system. He's going out the way he came in, and it isn't working. And the bit for me that's frustrating is I have seen things at times from United. The consistency's not there. Even last season, games that we lost, Wolves and West Ham at home as prime examples. City at home last year, the better team, the chances of scoring, we missed them. This is why I was willing. I listened to the criticism and I understood it, and I never disregarded it fully. But I said, I'm willing to see if we can buy new players, better players. Will those results change? And then we add more and more and more. But we've added better attackers, in my opinion. He's had a preseason. He's got one game a week. And the consistency isn't improving. We've had some games where we probably should have. And I mean, look, this super chat here, again, hyperbolic, but says, back then you always say, if we scored all our chances and Bayern saved all the shots, we'd win 6-0. Of course, that's a massive exaggeration to what I said. I never said I wasn't worried at all. When I said I wasn't worried in the summer was the panicking every day over the transfer window and the lies that came out about we wouldn't sell Rasmus and Onana would stay, Garnacho would be integrated back into the team. I said some things didn't worry me. I also criticized a lot of things, but the only reason I like your lies about me is you super chat them. So at least you're paying me to lie about me. I can take that, bruv, all day long. So thank you for giving me some more money. Thank you, bro. Keep lying. Keep it coming, brother. For me, he just hasn't been able to find consistency. I don't know how he's surviving. I said before the Chelsea game, they gave him 3 games to save his job. And I just said that was ridiculous. If I've got someone who makes my thumbnails and they keep doing them shit, and I say you've got 3 thumbnails to save your job, well, he's already gone, isn't he? Because at some point he's going to do a thumbnail I don't like. And then what happens if we win those 3 games and then get battered 6-0 by Liverpool? Do you take those 3 games into account? Do you look at it just becomes nonsensical. I'm at a point now where I'm looking at Ineos. What is your plan? What are you going to do? Because the season is still salvageable. But something you said, last thing I'll say on this, LB, is so important for United fans to remember. I don't think we have the players to play this system the way we want to do it. A lot of people want Oliver Glasner. I like him. I rate him. He's done it in the Prem. If people think, and I pray I'm wrong, if people think this Man United team with a lack of physicality can play how Crystal Palace play, you haven't got the brains you were born with. We do not have their caliber of player on a physical level. Technically, we can have a debate, but on a physical level, you think we've got their fullbacks. You think we've got their centre backs. You think we've got their midfield quality and power. You think we can do what they do. We might be able to do it with the attackers if the system was right. I just think what Man United fans have got to understand, we should improve with a better coach by 10, 15, 20% win ratio. We might win an extra game a month, but we're still going to lose a lot. We're still going to draw a lot after a new manager bounce. Please prepare yourselves for that, because I don't think it's going to just be this, oh my God, actually the squad build's been amazing. The culture was fixed. Everything was perfect. It was just the manager holding us back. Ineos has done a great job in the last 18 months. We just couldn't see the wood for the trees because Amorim was so bad. I don't believe that's the case. So my only message to Man United fans is temper your expectations, because if they're too high, it's all going to come crashing down again, and it will be crawling around on the floor, screaming into cameras, talking about whoever the next guy is being a fraud, after probably being told he's going to save the football club. So I don't believe right now. I've got very little faith anything's saving us or anything's making us better in the long term. Hope I'm wrong, but we will see. Viewers, give us your thoughts. Go on, mate. Go on.
Just quickly as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, look, there isn't a man in the country, or woman, of course, that wants Amorim in more than I do. Yeah, but as long as Amorim out is replaced with Southgate in, I'm still happy, man. I'm still
mate. What about Graham Potter? When I saw that, I said, "Oh my God, I'd pay to see that."
But this is also the reason why if and when the day comes where they say sacked, I get why some people are going to be happy, but I just feel a bit like slow down. We have no idea what's coming next. The same people that I'm seeing being vehement Amorim outers, vehement, also think we've got Ineos are worse than the Glazers. So my message to those people is, what are you actually celebrating? Because if you think the people that have brought in this trash manager are worse than the Glazers, what are you celebrating? What do you think is coming next? How can you be excited about people worse than the Glazers replacing a shit manager that they've already bought? It's just slow down, everyone. Ask for it, yes, but I think we've got a really, I know everyone wants that dopamine release. We've had a shit 18 months, but slow down, in my opinion, if that's how you think.
Facts.
Terry, do you not think that there is a manager out there, though, that could potentially overachieve? Let's say you're a team that, but squad-wise, you think you should finish in the top 10, right? Say between 8th and 10th. That's probably where your squad's at. Do you not think there's a manager out there, possibly a Glasner, that could overachieve and get you into like the top 6?
Yeah, of course that's possible, but we still have to temper ourselves. Why? Because I've seen this before. So I understand right now, this is the lowest we've been in this last 13 years. But I've seen other managers come in and have a great first 6 months. I've seen Ten Hag's first 2 games were shocking. He adapted. We had a brilliant 6 months. We shot up the league table. We won a lot of games, won the League Cup. 2 or 3 games later, we got beat
third.
Third. But 2 or 3 games later, we got smashed 7-0 by Liverpool. And we were never, ever the same again after that. Following season, yes, we got to an FA Cup final and won it. But that was by hook or by... That was a millimetre difference. And we threw away a 2-0 lead against a championship team and nearly got knocked out. That we can't forget those things. And you then look at his win ratio and his win percentage from the February of his final season until he got sacked. It was about as low as Ruben Amorim's is now. So again, this is why I don't ignore the facts just because I'm not enjoying Amorim, is the win percentage has been as bad. We haven't won 2 on the bounce since February 2024, which was 9 months before Ruben came. So yes, Ruben hasn't won back-to-back games, but we haven't done it since 9 months before he arrived. So this is why I'm saying to people, this idea that it's all going to be okay when he's gone is crazy. Is it a possibility we improve? Yes, a strong one. Could someone overachieve in the short term and make us excited? Yes, but we must temper our expectations, because I know me and Staffy had a big argument about this, and I get he's right in the sense of someone should be able to make us play better very quickly. I agree.
That's facts.
But that is facts, and I agree with it. The problem then is that everyone will get excited, get their willies out. Whoa, we're back! And then reality will hit because of the squad, and it'll be the manager's a fraud. The media jump on, rivals jump on, and it collapses.
No, but that's right. But that's why I think it was last week. Was it last week or the week before on this show? We spoke about how United need to realize, and it sounds patronising, right? But United need to realise where they are as a football club. Yeah.
Yes.
They could get Pep. They could get Klopp. You ain't winning the league, bro. The squad ain't good enough. But what we all agree with, everyone on this panel, and I guess most people in the chat all agree with, is that United squad is definitely better than where this manager has had them, you know what I mean, last year and this year. So I think, what I'd do if I was United, I'd be looking at bringing in a manager that knows the Premier League, that can stabilize the football club. And what by stabilize, I mean get United in the top 10, regular in the next 2 years. Improve the squad over the next couple of transfer markets. Maybe give him one more year, give him a third year, and then after that, if the guy's not making any more progress, then you go for a manager that can maybe take you up. But United, for me, United just need to become a stable football club again.
Yes.
Instead of losing.
LB, don't you think Glasner's the perfect guy though for that?
Glasner,
he showed he can win cups, right? So he's won a cup with Palace. We've never won a cup in their history. He won a Europa League with Frankfurt. He plays the same system. So surely if you gave Frankfurt time and said, look, get us into the top 10, try and win us a cup, surely he's shown he can do it in the Premier League. Surely Glasner, United could go to, this is a manager now that United could go and get right now, tomorrow, if they wanted. I think it's realistic.
Potentially. The problem that you've got,
I think it's perfect.
The problem that you've got at United, right, and you get this at elite level football clubs. I know United are elite right now, but you know what I'm talking about, giant football clubs, The manager's got to command the respect of the dressing room. Yeah, this is why Moyes fundamentally failed, because he walked in and the players just laughed at him. You know what I mean? There's that story about Moyes when he was on the bus reading a managerial book, trying to improve his management game, and all the players were laughing at him. The players have to respect the manager. Yeah. So I think Glasner's a very good manager. Does Glasner walk in the dressing room and then all those players go, yeah, I respect this guy? I don't know if he can. I don't know. I think they need more of an authoritarian, someone who's done something in the game. Yeah, maybe someone that's coming to the end of their career in management, but just can come in there, stabilize the football club, and just get them up the league a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
no, I think Glasner is perfect.
See, but that could be part. Listen,
no. Wait a sec. Why are you saying Glasner's perfect? Are you saying that because you rate him as a manager?
Not just that. Also, I do think the players would respect him. I think winning an FA Cup with Crystal Palace is no small feat. They've never won a trophy in their whole history, ever. So to win a trophy with them, and the Europa League with Frankfurt as well, that's not to be sniffed at. So he's got European pedigree, and he's won an FA Cup, and he's got Palace playing good football, and the formation suits them. If I was a Man United fan and we got Glasner, I would get a little bit excited to believe there's a little bit of hope that we could potentially have a good season, and who knows, maybe even win an FA Cup.
I think you both make great points, and this is the mad issue. I suppose the one thing we haven't done sort of since Jose really is we haven't gone for a manager that's doing well in the Premier League. We've kind of gone for Ollie. I know he's played here, but Ollie, Ten Hag, even Rangnick as an interim who did like 6 months at the club, 7 months at the club, and then Ruben are all from outside. Ten Hag, then Ruben. They've all come from outside the Premier League. So there is that element of people that have worked here, they know the league, they've adjusted. But I also get LB's point, and this is why I'm not excited about the prospect of selling Amorim. It has zero to do with protecting him. It's the same as I felt when we sacked. I remember sitting on. This is the bit that maybe makes me a little sad that I still get called out for this stuff, and that's probably partly part of my own ego being damaged. Is I sat there on Spaces and I sat there on streams when everybody wanted Ollie sacked, and I said I'm just not excited though about the prospect. Why are you defending him? What's the means to this end? How much better do you think we're going to be? This squad can win this. This squad can do that. We ended up in a worse situation. Ten Hag came in and I sat there and said, look, this guy's really good, but if we don't buy right for him, if this doesn't get fixed, we might even win some. I remember saying we might win some trophies, but I think it will end in disaster again. And it did. This hasn't even had the bounce trophies, but we almost won a trophy. We haven't done anything. Actually, not too dissimilar. You know, Ollie got to a Champions League, Europa League final. There's been some similarities. And I just look at it again and I'm like, we might need a really experienced guy. But then does he get frustrated at the lack of professionalism, the way the board operates, and ends up falling out with them very similarly to Jose does and walks away? Does a less well accomplished manager come in and the squad go, who are you? We ain't listening. I do feel like we're a little bit stuck between a rock and a hard place. The issue with Amorim is he just doesn't get us to win enough games. So there's nothing to. If he was winning 50% of his matches, I think the fans would say, do you know what? Fuck these players. But interesting with Glasner, I did think about this the other day. What if he comes in, keeps the formation the same as what he has at Palace, and then we get massively exposed? Or what if we get Areola comes in, changes to a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, and we're winning more, but we're only in 10th? Part of me is then interested to know what the discourse and conversation is then going to be, because when people are telling me that the squad is like anywhere between 0 to 25% accountable for where we're at right now, I do worry, but we'll see.
Do you reckon, just quickly,
go on.
do you reckon one of the reasons why the emotion behind Manchester United fans being a bit meh about the next manager is because you're almost resigned to the fact that he's probably maximum going to be the manager before the manager that actually gets you back to where you want to be?
For some people, because I suppose it's all about authenticity. I don't necessarily, for years I've said, I'll celebrate step change. If you guys have watched my content on Arsenal for years, I don't think there was anything wrong with, as you started progressing and getting better under Mikel, I didn't think there was anything wrong with saying, okay, we're a top 4 team now. We're a Champions League team now. We're in a title. I think it's okay to celebrate milestones and growth. Just my way I view the world. So I'm very comfortable if, let's just say it's Oliver Glasner. He comes in, gets us into 8th this year, but we look better. Next year, we get into the top 4, but we look really good. Let's just say it's that quickly for argument's sake. Yeah. And then the following year, we're sort of in a title race, but he ain't good enough to get us over the line. And the board say, we're going to move on we're going to go and get Diego Simeone. I'm just going to throw a top name out there. I'm fine with those 2 or 3 years of not winning the league, because I can see progression. I will be relaxed. I will enjoy my football. I can see the direction we're going in. There are some fans who right now are saying, I just want to play good football. And I said this to David earlier, Dan, obviously he's a good friend of yours, big Man United fan. Screenshot those people saying that, bookmark their content, because they'll be the first, once they're bored of the football being a little bit better and winning a few more games, they'll be the first to turn. They are like milk in the sun, these people. They turn very, very quickly, and they will. So I do agree with you. I agree with you by and large. There's a very noisy and loud percentage, Aaron, of United fans online who the media love to propagate, who will turn very quickly if we're not balling out every week and challenging for league titles. And I just think that's and it'll be the ones right now that are saying, I just want to play good football, because they were the ones under Ten Hag saying, I just want someone that's regimented, has a style of play and sticks to it. They were the first to turn when they didn't like how that looks, because the squad is being now the manager. The manager hasn't won enough games, so I get why you would call him out. But they're going against they're not addressing what they asked for as well, and that's my sort of, in terms of the conversation about this, that's what's really hard. I can sit here and say, yeah, we probably shouldn't have given Amorim the time because it's been a waste. I advocated for that. I was wrong. I advocated that Dan Ashworth came in. Didn't work out. I was wrong to advocate for it. I'm very open to admitting things that I get wrong. My issue with the conversation about things is people are like this. What's fashionable? It's like spin the fucking bottle sometimes. Let's have a look at a few more super chats before we move on here. This says, but you did say if we take our chances and Bayern saves theirs, we win. It can still apply to Brentford. What has changed? Well, we didn't create the gilt edge chances against Brentford, but what I also said is that the overall performance is what I'm judging people on. So what you heard me say after the Brentford game is, had Bruno scored that penalty and they rightfully went down to 10 men and we went on to win, I would have still heavily criticized the team for that performance. The same as I heavily criticized the team for the performance against City for large parts of the game. I heavily criticized the team for the goals we conceded against Burnley. I never said if we take all our chances. I spoke about very, very good chances in games that existed. I spoke about the fact that we had a very high XG, very high level of chance creation in these games, and we fluffed our lines. What I stated is that I will hold the players accountable for a part of that and the manager. There's a fundamental difference. I will, because again, a lot of the same people right now saying it's all the manager. If we get a coach we like and Mbeumo misses 3 big chances in a game because they like that manager, it won't be that's on the manager that for picking Mbeumo. It will be Mbeumo let the manager down today. He coached the win. People fluctuate. I keep it the same. I will blame players for missing chances. I will blame Bayern for throwing the ball into his own net. And at no point have I ever said if Bayern saved all the shots and chances against us. You're now exaggerating massively, my friend, to try and prove a point. But thank you for the super chat. Moving on from Man United, Chelsea got ripped up 3-1 LB in the end. 2 games running where they went down to 10 men.
Yeah.
Talk to me, because I've had a lot of conversations this week. You know, is Chelsea squad overrated? Why these defensive issues? I mean, one big question is, why do they look so bad with 10 men? We saw AC Milan win with 10 men on Sunday in Serie A as an example. I mean, they go down to 10 men, Chelsea, and they don't really know what they're doing. But a terrible start really for them. What are you saying?
Not surprising. Not surprising to me in the slightest. I have been telling everybody since the ball was kicked in the Premier League that Chelsea have been mad overrated. Their squad isn't good enough. The transfer activity in the summer was diabolical. And what did I get told by Chelsea fans? What did I get told? That I'm rattled, that I hate Chelsea, that I'm salty for Porto. No. It's just my opinion. And I've been proven right, mate. Yeah? I told everybody before a ball was kicked, Chelsea will not finish within 15 points of whoever wins the Premier League. That is facts, bro. Yeah, 100% true. These Chelsea fans, mate, not all of them, some of them are absolutely delusional, mate. Yeah, delusional. Let me read out one of these comments from a video. I read it out last night on Potter's channel. Let me read you out. This was on on your Clips channel. I went on a recent Chelsea video where I was speaking about it, yeah. And this is what some of the Chelsea fans have been saying about me, yeah, on there. But obviously, I've been proven correct, yeah. This guy says, I can't believe LB can't see what Chelsea are building. It's mad. Acting like City and Liverpool came out of nowhere. Chelsea are literally emulating City and Liverpool. Let me just tell you something, Chelsea
Crazy
fans.
stuff.
One of the problems that you have in your fan base is that a lot of you are delusional, mate. Yeah, that transfer window that you had this summer was diabolical. You spent 300 million, 300 million on what? On what? You still got Sanchez in there. Your defenders are not good enough. Your centre-backs, your wingers are average. You still don't have an elite level striker at the football club. You take Palmer out of that team and you are a very, very average team. I'm not saying it because I hate Chelsea. I don't hate Chelsea. Yeah, I'm not rattled by Chelsea. I'm not salty that you beat us in Port. I'm saying it because it's my opinion. And all you guys, who wanted to go on like you had a mint transfer window and because you won the Club World Cup, you are now in a title race, delusional. Yeah, you guys need to be sitting down and looking at that transfer window that you had in the summer and go, what the hell have we spent this money on? You spent £100 million on Gittins and Garnacho. You know how mad that is? You've still not got any proper centre-backs. You've still not got a good goalkeeper. Your wingers are bang average. You've still not got a world-class elite level striker. You got Liverpool going out buying Isaks and Wirtz, and you're buying these guys. And for some reason, Chelsea fans don't want to hear it. And now they're in the mud, They're blaming Maresca. They're blaming red cards. They're blaming this. They're blaming that. Because why? Because they don't want to accept that they were wrong, that their transfer window was shambolic. And that's the truth. Trust me. I don't think Chelsea are a bad side. I've said this from day one. I think Chelsea will get in the top 5 again. I think when they've got everybody fit, I think they're a decent side. But anybody thinks that they're anywhere close to winning a title with this squad is delusional. And that 300 million was that is honestly just, it's so bad. Because the thing is as well, they weren't that far away from having a really decent 11, mate. Let's just have it right. Let's just tell the truth here. They weren't that far away from having a decent 11. Goalkeeper, 2 centre-backs, and maybe a quality winger. And you know what? They've got a really, really good team there. But what have they done? They've just bought a load of average players. Big up João Pedro. I like João Pedro. I like Esteval. But these players are not going to propel you to the title. No chance, man. So listen, I was right. Apologies. Put it in the comment section down below. I'll respond to each one individually. No hate, obviously, you know what I'm saying? We all get mistakes. We all make mistakes in our football opinions. But if you just put your apologies down in the comment section below, all Chelsea fans, I'll go through each one by one.
Do you know what I think is really interesting before you go to you guys? Don said something in the group chat. I know on Saturday they were hurting, okay? And I get it. I'm in pain too. George, we all know George, Tottenham fan George. He added Don and said, are you okay, buddy? Defense isn't a problem, though, is it? He quote tweeted it, Don, and said, mate, that red card changed the game again. And then Neeks, great guy Neeks, said, who got the red card? A defender. And this is it. That both red cards for Chelsea have come through their defense being opened up through mistakes and through panic, and through the goalie not being good enough. And this is where I feel, look, I'm someone that didn't say that. I didn't think they had a bad transfer window. I actually like a lot of their signings. I do, however, think not improving that goalkeeper and now looking at it, not bringing in an experienced centre-back, I think is going to cost Chelsea progression. So the thing I'm changing my mind on right now is I do not believe, I thought they were going to be in a title race. I thought that the trophies they won were going to put them onto another level. Right now, I'm seriously doubting what I said, because as soon as there's been adversity in games, they can't adapt. And it's the leadership. 2 games running down to 10 men. Old Trafford's a little different. It's the whole game they played a man down. They did, by the way, have a second half where it was 10v10, and we're not a very good team. But the Brighton game was a worrying factor. Should be worrying. They're 1-0 up. They go down to 10, and they didn't make it hard for Brighton after that. They didn't make it difficult. They weren't compact. I've never seen anything like it from a top team.
Terry, where are those guys that crashed the stream the other week? Where are them Chelsea fans that come on the stream the other week giving it the big and saying that, well, we just hated Chelsea, we don't know what we're talking about. Why not crashing the stream now, eh? Why not crash the stream now, bro?
So I will address that. Ches is definitely watching because he always watches. Where you at, bro? David, I've got to say with David, David's he's an engineer, very, very clever one, and he's just started working for one of the biggest Formula One teams in the world. So he's very busy at the minute. Like on the level, David's got a real excuse. He's building
conveniently busy
cars.
this week, though. Yeah, Tell.
Well, yeah,
weren't busy a couple of weeks ago, though, was he?
He wasn't. No, honestly, he just started the job. But yeah, I don't know where Ches is. Ches hasn't even shown his face on the terrace. He came on after the United beat them with his camera off. He hasn't shown his face for weeks. He hasn't put his face on. It's kind of crazy to me. Crazy.
But
go on, Aaron. Over you, mate.
That's right. I've got similar opinions to LB on it. Although I haven't been as sort of vocal about Chelsea. I'm not going to ask for any apologies. I haven't really, like I said, been as vocal as him. But what I will implore the Chelsea fans to do is just stop being little bitches, man. Because it's the same problem I have largely with a lot of the Arsenal fan base. It's everything else bar looking in the mirror and going, do you know what? Maybe we're just not good enough. Maybe we're not operating as well as we should have. They blame everything but themselves. And I think that's what it is. I think sometimes Chelsea fans, like I said, I've got a lot of proper Chelsea mates around here where I live in West London. So I've got loads of them. They haven't got that weakened standards that Chelsea have allowed themselves to slip to. They still hold themselves to proper standards. You know, they still want the best and they want certain managers gone. They're not saying that this transfer window is a success. They're not saying this team's going to be in a title race because they've seen their Chelsea teams that are capable of winning the Premier League. And let me tell you one thing, this squad, let alone starting 11, is not capable currently of winning the Premier League. They've got some good players in there for sure. They've got some talented youngsters coming through that could, should, would, whatever come through. But all me and LB were saying specifically in that stream was, man, you need to get some experience and some quality in terms of established proper players and the goalkeeper and the centre-back minimum, and that would improve you tenfold. And they spent, as LB and me have said before, they spent it on Garnacho and Gittins. What are you playing at? What are you playing at? Why can't you just receive the criticism? Why can't you just accept that as what it is? It's not difficult to go, do you know what? Especially now that after LB saying he predicts them being 15 points behind at the end of the season, they're already nearly halfway there after 6 games, by the way. They're 7 points behind the leaders. They're nearly there already.
Let me ask you a question, Aaron. Let me ask you a question. I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans phone into Talk Sport, their own channels. I saw Rory Jennings say this. They're blaming Maresca. Do you think this is a Maresca management issue, or do you think Chelsea fans have overrated their squad?
Look, it's one of them questions where it's so semi-easy to answer. You can say it's a bit of both. That's such a common answer, isn't it? Well, it probably is a bit of both. I think they probably have overrated Maresca a little bit. I thought he'd come in and done fine in his first season. I mean, he got some trophies for, that's fair enough. But the question isn't from the Chelsea fans this season whether or not their trophies is successful on. The question is, they think that they're going to be in a Premier League title race. And that's really what I know me and definitely LB have sort of been saying. You're probably not going to be in one because you haven't done enough. And I think that the Chelsea fans leading on to that point that I just said probably have overhyped the squad a little bit, probably have lived in a little bit of la-la land a bit much. If they'd have got we always use these examples because they were available. And not even that expensive. If they'd have got a Gehi and a Donnarumma, I'd have entertained that and gone, do you know what? They could probably be dark horses in this season. They'll probably want to watch because they've got that solidarity at the back. I mean, you look in the last couple of games, they might have 6 more points if they hadn't have had David Sanchez at the back and a solid defender. That all ifs, buts and maybes. We all don't know. But the point is they'd probably have a few more points. And if that translated into 2 wins out them 2 games that we said, that's what 4 or 5 more points or whatever it is. They're in it. They're knocking on the door.
Maresca. The thing is, Maresca's going to make mistakes. He's a new manager. He's a relatively new manager. He's a young manager. Yeah, you made that decision to get that manager, so you're going to have to live with the fact that he is going to make mistakes. He's not going to be perfect. But the fundamental reason why Chelsea will be nowhere near the title race is because they've not got good enough players. Simple as. It's that simple.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on this, Dan? When you look at Chelsea from a rival perspective, I mean, they've had a couple of good wins, but it's been a really bad period between the international breaks, and they've got 2 games now to kind of rectify that. They play Benfica tonight, Jose Mourinho coming home, and then a tough game against Liverpool this weekend. How do you see the next 2 games going for Chelsea?
Well, look, I was looking at the games today, and I actually tipping him to lose that game today. I think they're gonna lose 3 games in a row. I think Jose's gonna go back there. I think he'll have a plan, And I'm predicting them to lose that game. I don't think they'll win it anyway. They'll lose or draw it at best. That's my opinion. With Chelsea, I think it was my second ever show with you and Don and Staffy, I think it was. And I was watching it the other day, right? And me and Don were going at it. And I said to him, listen, we will finish 15 points above you, minimum. And he said, no way in hell. Well, 5 points already above them, 6 games in. You know, and I think you agreed, obviously, we'd finish above them. But you said it probably wouldn't be 15. It's going to be 15. It could be 20. I said it last time I was on Straight Facts. They are a serious Cole Palmer injury away from self-destruction. And the players they've bought, they've gone and bought players simply hoping that they might be able to sell them for a little bit more money. They sold Madueke to us. They bought him for 30 and sold him for 52. This is what they're doing with these players. They're taking gambles on Garnacho. You're never going to win like that. You're not going to win the league. They won the Club World Cup and got very excited. They were only in that competition because they won the Champions League 5 years ago. You know, they played no one until the final. PSG had played about 70 odd games that season, were clearly tired, but well done. They won that. Enjoy it. But then they got out of their buggies and started to feel like they're going to be in this title race. I said it from the start. Arsenal, Liverpool, and possibly Man City, because I'll never write Manchester City off. But I've said it time and time again. It'll be Arsenal and Liverpool fighting for this title. And it already is, after 6 games, it's panning out that way. Chelsea, look, I think they've got some good young players, and they could get top 5, top 6, should get top 5, really. They have to be getting top 5. And listen, I wouldn't rule them out of maybe even one of the cups, but in a Premier League title race, it's just craziness. I got a lot of stick with it as well, LB. And any of my videos I was posting, it was Chelsea fans that we just did like a thing where you just, at the start of the season, you do your predictions. And Dan, who I do my show with, said Chelsea, they could be dark horses, they could be in the title race. I said, no way. And every Chelsea fan just comes in the comments and says, well, what did Arsenal win? Arsenal ain't going to win. I said, listen, I know we've not won anything, but we're talking about Chelsea not being in the title race. So, you know, I'm not sure. Look, like Aaron says, I'm sure there are a lot of Chelsea fans that seen Abramovich, the guy who must have been the best owner in the world, went and got whatever manager he wanted. And if he didn't win after a year, go and get the next best manager. Go and get Michael Ballack in his prime. Just get whatever players they wanted. And they won. And this is a whole totally different way Chelsea are doing things now. Chelsea fans are they're gonna have to get used to that. But yeah, like I said, I think the Club World Cup did raise expectations.
No, of course it did. And I think it's not baby in the bathwater, because I do think they have some very good players, Palmer, Caicedo, etc.
Yep.
But it's just, now you look at it and you look at the, you know, maybe the Colwell injury has done it, but I do find it interesting that a lot of the Chelsea fans who come on our shows and talk have gone from, I think we'll finish above Arsenal, I think we'll do this, very much to, I've revised it all. Because right now, I mean, the performances have got to get better. Performances are the most important thing to having a good league season. You can get away with not performing well. You can win cups. You can even win slightly harder, but you can even win a Champions League without being overall the best team in the competition in the year.
Chelsea,
you know,
twice Chelsea done
twice
that.
they've won it. Yeah, you probably wouldn't say up until that final, best team in the tournament that year. They won their games, and that is what tournament football's all about. League football's very different, and I think Chelsea fans were very excited about the prospects of being in the league title race. But I agree with what you were saying as well, Aaron. I think Maresca makes mistakes, but I think I saw Rory Jennings' video, and I just thought, if you think that a new guy is coming in and it's going to fix all these problems, it's not managerial. It's, yes, Poch wasn't doing a good enough job, and nor was Graham Potter. And Maresca's doing a better job than them. So, of course, he's made mistakes. I thought his substitutions against Man United were horrendous and they killed the game off. But that's not the reason why you've not won one of your last 4 real games. I know they beat Lincoln, but that's not the reason why. It's individual players not being good enough. And also when, you know, Palmer's out now, like, where's that spark in the attack? Where's it going to come from? And yes, they were good against Brighton in the first half. They've got to kill those games off. And they've got to be able to react through adversity. It's been really, by their standards, it's been really poor. This year, since Chelsea did that first time, the second time, I will say they were one of the best teams that tournament, especially their defense. Listen, you can't win the Champions League typically without being a good team, there's no doubt. But I think if we go back, like City in the year that Chelsea won it, were I think by and large from group stage through to the final, most people would have said who's been the best team in the tournament this year.
Oh, yeah.
City would have won that vote. You do need an element of consistency, but at the end of the day, we've seen Real Madrid's. We've seen PSG just last year almost go out. Sorry, mate. Sorry. We saw PSG last year almost get knocked out in the league phase and go on to win it. You couldn't start a Premier. It's very hard nowadays to start a Premier League season that bad where you're 10, 15 points off the teams at the top and then turn that round by the end of May. Not when you've got Liverpool, Cities, Arsenals. You can't do it. Where a cup competition, as long as you're in the knockout phase and you click second half the campaign, you can go on and win it. So I think that's key. I think that's really, really key.
Yeah, that's facts as well, even in the domestics. I mean, you can be terrible and scrape through in penalties. And if you start turning on the heat in the quarter semis and finals, you only remember who wins that final, didn't you, I suppose?
Look, for me, Manchester City and Liverpool, Manchester City and Man United, they're the two teams that won it and were the best team in Europe. They won the trebles, right? And when United won it in 2008, they won the double. They won the Premier League. They done it in proper style, just as Man City did. When Chelsea won the Champions League, they finished 6th in 2012. They were abysmal that season. They managed to win the Champions League and the FA Cup with Di Matteo. When they won it with Tuchel, they finished 4th. So they were never the best team in Europe, not the best team in England when they won it. You know, so Champions League, like you said, Terry, you've always got a chance if you change your manager mid-season, whatever might happen, things change, players come into form. But the Premier League, that is your bread and butter. That is where you will see where you are at. And that's what we're seeing with Chelsea now.
The league is about consistency, right? And you need the best players to be consistent. And I go back to their transfer window again. Who did they sign this? Right, I'm not being funny here, but I'd be fuming if I don't know why these Chelsea fans are not fuming. I feel like I'm more fuming for you than you're actual fuming for your own club, right? You just come back off the back of a really good season. Yeah, you finished in the top 4, which not a lot of people had you finish in the top 4. You won the Conference League, yeah, and then you've just gone to the Club World Cup and won it, right? You just had a really, really good 12 months. You should have gone into that transfer market and gone cash, but on quality players. What did you do? You bought Pedro, good signing, but he's not going to propel you to a title. Jamie Gittins, Garnacho, Esteval, another good player, but he's not going to propel you to a title. Jorel Hatto, Delap, Asugo, Mamadou Sarr.
There was people comparing Esteval to Saka.
Where's the outrage in this Chelsea fan base, bro? You should have been going signing the best players in the world, man.
LB, it's another point that we were making again to keep going back to that show. I think about 3 weeks ago, we was just saying about the change in ethos and the strategy in terms of the transfer window. We was also mentioning, like you've just mentioned, a few young players there, all well and good. They could probably win Chelsea with the right development, obviously, and guidance. They could probably win Chelsea a title in XYZ years, but they needed established players for now. So if they was expecting a title race and they're still buying young players for 2-3 years, come on, something's
they don't have any players over 27. And that was something I said to Don. I said, your players haven't even played in the Champions League. And he went, Reece James. I said, okay, when Reece James played captain, he won it. But they don't have many players that have played a lot of games in the Champions League and also I said to him, you have to have been in a title race. Only Leicester are the only team that come out of nowhere and just won the league. And someone said to me, we done it with Conte. Well, the year before that, you finished 10th with Jose. But the year before that, Jose won the league. So you'd won a league like a year before. No team comes in out of nowhere and just wins the league. You have to knock on the door first. That's exactly what Arsenal are doing. And this year, we're going to win the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, Arsenal have had a good transfer window. Yeah, I think personally they needed one more. Yeah, like that superstar left winger type thing. But on the whole, they've had a good transfer window. They're trying to push forward. Whereas with Chelsea, I just look at them as stable. That's why I've got them in the top 5. I don't think they're shit. I think they're a good team. But they're nowhere near a Premier League. And that's why I just think that Chelsea fans, Chelsea fans should be outraged with that summer.
They'll lose a lot of games this season, Chelsea. They'll bust a lot of coupons for sure.
Yeah. And I see people saying, well, who could they have bought? Come on.
But it could have been
you've got Sanchez in there. Yeah, you've got Chalobah and Tosin playing at centre-back. You bought Garnacho and Gittins. Let's not be disingenuous. and pretend like there's no better goalkeepers
What's
in the
crazy?
world.
Why would
no
they buy
centre-backs.
Garnacho 40 million when you could have went and got Gahey for 40 million? It doesn't make sense. How could we all
thing? I know he hasn't had a pre-season, but what also strikes me is he hasn't even brought him on in the last 2 games.
Yeah. I don't think he wanted him,
It could be that, and that's going to be interesting because again, I don't dislike Garnacho. I think he can make an impact for them. But if they've bought the manager players that he doesn't rate or doesn't want, and I know that people say, Terry, you're being a hypocrite because you think that the club should buy players for itself and for its system, but your manager and your club should have a synergy. That the manager that's coaching your team should want the same types of players your club wants to buy because you're meant to be in unison with one another. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to go the other way. But when they say this is what I mean by who else could you buy? Gahey was available this summer. Could have got him. Mike Mignon, Donnarumma, just to name a centre-back and 2 good goalkeepers that were attainable. There are good centre-backs in Italy that you could have gone and looked at. There are other very good centre-backs in the Premier League that you can go out and
they let one go to AC Milan a few years back. What's his name? He's a good player, the English lad.
Oh,
the striker.
No.
What's his name again? He's good. He starts for AC Milan.
So I can't remember his name.
Watching him the other day in the game you mentioned.
I know you mean, but there are Tomori. That's his name.
Tomori, that's it. Yeah,
there were people available. There were experienced players, especially defensively and in goal. And I think Chelsea would have started this season. I think they'd be sitting there on 12 to 15 points, and they could be purring and they could be moving in the right direction. I think attacking wise, they've got quite a lot. Midfield, when everybody's fit, is very good. I don't think there's a doubt about that. That defense. And
I have to say though, I do think Mosquera is a good coach though, and I don't think it's his fault. I don't think he can take that squad of players any further. He got them in the top 4. I think if he gets them in the top 5 again, he's done a good job. If they were to win a cup, I think he's done a fantastic job. I actually think Maresca's a decent manager. I think he'll go on to be a very good manager.
No, you're right. But the reason they're turning on him is because they don't want to accept the truth. Is that they got it wrong this summer? Yeah,
exactly.
As someone spoke about Rory Jennings, I guarantee you he was probably saying that they've had a great transfer window. He probably put them in the top 2 or top 3.
Oh, he hates Maresca, don't he?
Yeah, but he'll hate it because you don't want to accept they've had a terrible transfer window, bro. Like, this is the fruit. This is the facts, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I think Maresca's doing an all right job, but he's going to make mistakes because he's a young manager. If you don't want a manager that makes a lot of mistakes, don't get a young manager. Go and get Simeone. Go and get an old boy. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that. Magnum here says, I love the show, but the most satisfying thing is always to mute it when Aaron starts talking. It's always nice to know you rattle a few, isn't it? This here from English Talent says that listen to Andy Minton. McTominay told him United can't dominate because football changed from the 90s. The noughties, mid to low table clubs have money and big budgets. I mean, look, no one... look, City have just dominated for 8-9 years and spent the same money as Man United did in that time. So I do disagree. If your recruitment is good, if you've got a plan, if the culture is right and you have the right head coach, that is achievable.
And
now,
Arsenal are about to.
Yeah, if you have 3 teams that were all of that City level at the same time, maybe you can't have one that wins all those league titles. Maybe you spread them out amongst each other, but you would still see a gulf in difference between those teams and the other sides. At the end of the day, Man United are in our worst point in most of our lifetimes. We still just had a record year of revenue, which, by the way, our wage bill is still more than the income of about 80% of the Premier League clubs. So I disagree with that notion. I do. Berta is going for a left winger in the January window, maybe. Look, and on Arsenal, as we're there, because Aaron's got a shoot at 5, and he'll leave us a little bit. But I'm gonna come to Aaron first. Actually, that was a bit of a scary message you sent out of the weekend. Brilliant, dominant display. Come from behind as well. You know, you conceded against a run of play. You even came through some refereeing adversity to come away with 3 massive points. And it feels like the Arsenal fan base, maybe for the first time this season, is really bought into the idea as a collective of maybe winning this league title.
Look, what I can say is I think if you're trying or expected or whatever of going for a league title, which Arsenal really should be, I think there's opportunities throughout the season that's thrown at you. And you said something last week that I totally agreed with and rang true in the end in my favour on Sunday. And that was, it's a very pivotal weekend. And I phrase things quite similar, like, because it was a massive pivotal weekend. and we was running through it, and we were sort of saying, Liverpool are on this run, they're still winning, nicking games, even though Palace away, considering their form and considering sort of previous results for Liverpool there, it is a bit of a tricky one for them. And then, the season throws us something on Saturday, and that was a late loss for Liverpool. A little bit of karma coming back there on to spoon feed them for that. I quite enjoyed that. Not going to lie, sorry Liverpool fans, but come on, we're all here trying to win things. And it was down to Arsenal then. Over to you on Sunday. What can you do? And the job at hand for Arsenal Football Club was to go away at Newcastle, where in the last 3 games, in particular, if you include the Carabao Cup as well, we've been really bad. We haven't got going. We haven't really registered any form of efforts on target. Any notable ones? We've stanked the place out with no real anything to show for it. Not even scored a goal. So the task was a little bit monumental, but we got thrown that bone by Liverpool. And then I'll sit there and think of last season. And last season, there was plenty of opportunities for Arsenal Football Club, once Liverpool played first and dropped points, for us to try and come back and do something. And the vast majority of time, Arsenal failed to do that last season. When Liverpool dropped points in that early game, Arsenal dropped points in some way, shape or form and just never really took advantage of it. So again, the season threw us this opportunity where Liverpool have dropped points. And then Arsenal play against Newcastle, and lo and behold, they get themselves a win. And not only did they get themselves a win, I've got to praise Mikel Arteta for the intent of the lineup. But even though there weren't much to change, I like the fact that he put Eze in there. And that to me says, yes, he's not going defensive, because if we saw Mikel Merino in there again, just like we did at Anfield, just like we did at home to Manchester City, I'm going, we know how the game's going to go. But he didn't. He played Eze. So then my next sort of thing was, okay, cool. You've started with a little bit more of intent by the looks of it in the lineup. How are you going to play? And it was straight from the off. Arsenal were fantastic in the first half. It beat it down a little bit. Obviously, going 1-0 down to said adversities or whatever doesn't help. But, we carried on going. Took a little bit longer to get back into in the second half. But Mikel Arteta done something. And this is where he earned his money that week for sure, is make substitutions. And the substitutions he made are almost inarguable to win Jack, because one of them scored the equaliser and the other one came on and made an excellent line-breaking pass, by the way, in Odegaard, of course, which didn't come to anything, but then did assist the corner for obviously the winner. So I can't sit on here and not give Arteta and Arsenal Football Club their flowers for doing everything that I basically asked them to do and winning away from home. And, bridging that gap to Liverpool. I'll admit, I'm happy to put my hands up and go, I didn't think at this point today or yesterday or at Sunday evening that Arsenal Football Club would be 2 points, within 2 points rather of Liverpool. I thought, maybe at best we could match their result or whatever, still be 5 points, which is meh, but it isn't. It's 2 points. And most importantly, Arsenal took advantage of that, something we didn't do last season whatsoever. So look, just in its isolation of that game, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm not going to lie. I only just starting to feel a little bit better because I drank a lot of Stellas on Sunday, and after the win, I drank a few more expected. I had to cart me bloody kids around Chester and World of Adventures yesterday, so I'm still feeling a little bit meh.
Oh.
Yeah, no, yeah, it weren't too great. Yeah,
no.
But listen, I'm happy.
That's
with
right,
that.
that's right near my. That's right near my house. That is. Near my house. Yeah, not far. I want to ask you a question, Aaron.
Yep.
Because you were very critical of Arteta and Arsenal, and I respect it. It's your way, your view.
Yep.
You just picked him up, Terry. You've missed it, mate.
No, I had to run to the bathroom. I went to gym before going live. I drank like.
Of course he misses it, innit?
Yeah, no, but I had it on my phone, right? So I know what you were saying. But I want to ask, by and large, you attacked more. The starting lineup was correct. The substitutions were positive. If Arteta was to start doing this on a more regular basis, because you're not always going to go for it in the same way. It depends who you're playing, game state, situation in the league.
I appreciate
if that happens more regularly, is that the kind of thing that would put faith in you that he's the right guy for your club? And of course, getting over the line.
I want 100%, because it's one game. We've all got to remember that. And, my opinion that I've had for a long time isn't just going to be changed based on one result. But what it will do is for me the hope that when we go away or be at home to these big sides or these, real gritty physical teams we usually don't do so well against, i.e. Anfield, real tricky games at home to Manchester City, away at Newcastle. I almost sort of feel slightly vindicated in my want for Arsenal to have set up and played like that at Liverpool, and definitely at home to Manchester City. So it's almost like that performance, that lineup, that intent is basically me saying, this is what I wanted to bloody see in them 2 games that we dropped points at. And no one knows if we'd have played like that and got them.
Right.
We don't know the
results.
You
were right. You were right.
I just feel like that's what I expect us to do. That
there is horses for courses. Yeah, sorry, go on.
There is horses for courses, and I do appreciate that there will be games where you have to go. Yeah, do you know what? Maybe we do need to lock up a little bit here, or scenarios depending on certain situations. I totally get that, but I'm sorry, after when you factor in everything like that, I expect Arsenal to be able to go away to Liverpool and go, let's give them a bit of a game. And especially at home to Manchester City, I expect us to be the dominant side in terms of attacking play and wanting to win the game, not just let's see if we can stifle them and nick something. At this stage of Arsenal's development, I expect a little bit more. I expect what I saw against Newcastle, and I'm buzzing for it. I'm very happy, and I just hope that we see more of that. I'm happy with that statement.
I get that.
Sorry, Quintel.
No. I was saying, do you think Arteta listened to your podcast and went, "I'll listen to Aaron and be more offensive"? Is it one of them?
He fucking well should, shouldn't he? If he isn't, I don't know what you're doing, Artie. What's going on, my boy? Come on. Yeah, obviously not.
No, I get you, Dan. What did you make of it, mate? What did you make of the weekend? The message it sent. You've obviously seen a lot of rivals fuming, like Newcastle fans all run to their TikToks, run to their Twitter accounts, and they're like, Liverpool, we forgive you. We forgive you for taking Isak. Please beat Arsenal. It kind of really rattled a lot of people you winning this weekend.
Look, I said it. I've been saying it in my videos all after that City games. Every Arsenal fan that I spoke to, everyone, I do the show. I'm positive Dan, he's negative Dan. And every one of them was saying, we're going to be 8 points behind. What happens if we're 8 points behind? They all just want me to say I want Arteta out. So they're all like, will you want him out then? We'll be 8 points behind. I said, why is it always we'll be 8 points behind? Why is it always, what about, I said, what if we win and Liverpool lose? I said, because there's a big chance of that playing. They're playing Palace, a good Palace side at that. And I said, I fancy us to go and beat Newcastle. And we did it. And when we win the league in May, when we're lifting that Premier League trophy, I think every Arsenal fan will think, when did I start to believe? Because even me as a positive fan, after the draw at City and the not so offensive football, I won't call it negative, because when you got 80% of the ball against Man City, I can't see how that's negative, But I think this is what everyone's going to look back to. Remember that game, September, the sixth game in, and we got the 2-1 late win against Newcastle. And I think the players now will believe more than ever. I think there's defining moments in seasons. And I know it's very early, but to go to Newcastle and to be 1-0 down, the most difficult place to play when you're 1-0 down is Newcastle. Going into the game, they had the best defense. And I just think it's a pivotal moment. Ironically, they let a goal in the 97th minute, and then we score in the 97th minute. I thought there were some unbelievable performances. I think Gabriel has to be lauded as the best defender in the world now. He is phenomenal. No defender has scored more goals than him since he made his debut in the Premier League.
Not the best defender in the world.
No, honestly,
did you see his defending on the Walt mate goal?
I don't see the. Yeah, well, look, listen.
Let's not talk about that.
He went down very easily. He went down very easily. But Gabriel was immense. I think Timber was 10 out of 10. Declan Rice, the athleticism on that boy is incredible. And what I did like was Arteta, he threw the kitchen sink at it. He threw everyone on. We had every single attacking player on. And you know what, Terry? You asked, did he watch Aaron's podcast? Well, listen, Arteta's not a silly man, When he first came into the club, the first thing he said he wanted to do was connect with the fans. If you go and watch his first interview, and that's what really got me on board at the start. He wanted the Emirates to be a fortress, and he's turned it into a fortress. But I can tell you what, when we went to City, when we were playing City, everyone had their shoulders down a bit when the lineup come out, and it was nowhere near as buoyant, because the Emirates can be quiet at times, but whenever it's a big game, it really gets loud. And it just didn't have that same feeling. And I think Arteta, he said it in his interview. They kept on asking about handbrake. He said the handbrake will be off. And he wasn't lying. And I think sometimes you do have to listen to your own fans. He wants the fans on side. You can quickly, you lose the fans, you can be in trouble. And if Arsenal go in that game and we play cautiously, we end up losing 1-0. Could you imagine the noise now? were 8 points behind, if let's say Liverpool had won, or even they've lost, and then we haven't capitalized on our opportunity, could we capitalize? Could we put in a performance of champions? Yes. Will Arteta go attacking? Yes. Can we win the league? Yes. Will we win the league? Yes. This team now, if I could read out our next 6 games, right? Our next 6 games, you tell me how many points, because on my last show, I went through our next 7 games and I said we get 21 points. It was Newcastle, obviously. Then we play West Ham at home. Fulham away.
So let's do this. So West Ham, how many points do we all think they're getting on that? 3?
Yeah.
3. I think they win all the games. I've done it as well. I think they win all the games.
Fulham away.
Win.
Yeah.
Palace at home.
Tough, but I think you'll win.
Okay.
Burnley away.
You'll win.
Sunderland away.
Win.
Spurs at home.
Win.
Now, should I read you Liverpool's?
Yeah, so are we really saying Arsenal are getting 18 points?
I think Arsenal are going to run now. I think Arsenal are going to run.
Honestly.
One thing I just will say, just quickly.
LB, I think you're setting up for failure, mate. I think
I think it's easy. We should be winning them games on paper, but I just want to remind, we haven't beaten West Ham at home in the last 2 seasons, and we haven't beaten Fulham away in the last 2
seasons.
But
you didn't. You're not.
There are some still tricky games.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Yeah, but you've not. You didn't beat Newcastle last 3 games. You've been to.
Yeah, of course, and I was just about to wrap that by saying, look, and that can't be defined. I'm just saying they're not all easy games.
Negative.
Leeds weren't in the Premier League, right? Leeds weren't in the Premier League, so we won't include them. But the other 5 games, we've got 3 more points than we did last season, so we're already doing better on that aspect. But Liverpool's games,
go on, do Liverpool.
Chelsea away, right? So we could be be top, right?
We
should be top. We play at 3, they play at 5, 5:30. Then they play United at home.
They're winning.
Brentford away.
Tough that.
Dodgy that.
That is dodgy.
I'm going to go draw.
Yeah. Villa at home.
Win.
Villa just come to form now.
Win that. Yeah. Win.
City away. Manchester City away. November the 8th.
Draw.
Man City win, mate.
LB, you think you're winning?
More than you believe. More than you believe.
Can I just say this just quickly before I have to shoot? Because I'm getting texts from my missus saying I need to take the boy football training. Just quickly, if that's all right. I will agree to a certain extent with them next fixtures. It does present itself with another opportunity for Arsenal Football Club to actually properly, after 12 games that'll be at the end of that run you was just saying, to stamp their authority on the season. Absolutely. And there are some tricky games for the Liverpool, what you just read out as well. Absolutely.
And they play Real Madrid in between Villa and City as well.
Yeah. It's a good opportunity. I'm really intrigued to see how well Arsenal are going to do. I hope they get 18 points out of 18. I reckon if you're gonna win the Premier League, you don't need to, but I reckon if Arsenal were to stamp their authority on it, I mean, what a little possible run to be able to go on and go, take that positivity from the weekend, winning in the last minute against a place where you usually do a bit bad up, and go and make that almost like a platform, a springboard, whatever you want to call it.
Aaron, I've got a mate, right?
What's the 6th game? Because we're on 10 points so far. Oh, hello.
Here he is. Come on, boy.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
Oh, it's like a mushroom on Mario. What's that 6th game then, Dan?
Forest that
win.
They'll win that. So, are we really?
I reckon they're going to run now. I think Arsenal are going to go on a run, man. They've got Saka back. Yeah, obviously that's good for them. Saliba's back, so all the injuries are looking good. I think they're going to run, man. I think they'll.
I tell you what could be even more worrying. What could be even more worrying is if Gyökeres starts scoring even more goals as well. Because he scored goals in some games, not in the big games yet. I thought he actually played really well against Newcastle. If he starts banging in some goals as well, that could be big. That could be big.
So, and this is what I want to see is at the West Ham game. Odegaard's come back and he actually looked all right. I'd like at Arsenal, now that we've got him back, say, injured, even though I'm not his biggest fan, we all know that. But now Eze's back in that midfield. I'd like us to start, if they're going to go with a 4-3-3, to be able to have a midfield where Declan Rice, who was phenomenal in the 6, by the way, absolutely phenomenal again, seeing there. To have an Odegaard at that right, and then Eze is the left 8, which is very easily transitional into a 4-2-3-1, with maybe Declan slipping in that 6 and Odegaard playing that defensive double pivot 6, or 8, sorry, and then being the guy before Eze to make that sort of pass, and just be able to tidy up and knit a little bit better than a Mikel Merino would say if we have him in that midfield. I just think horses for courses at that game at home. I've noticed we've had a little bit of tricky times at West Ham, but there's got to be horses for courses games where you're at home and you think, you know what, we should beat West Ham. We don't need to have 3 CDMs or 3 CMs in there. You know, we can play a bit more expansive. And when Odegaard come on, he did look good. You just got to call it as it is. He did look good, and that's what I want to see. Them games where you can just have a bit more of attacking sort of flair. You know, we're not playing at home against a nasty, gritty Brentford side who can sort of make problems for you. You're playing against a team on the right sort of stage you could rip apart if everything flows for you. So I just again want to continue to see the game management and the intention from Arsenal Football Club in terms of the lineup and the way we set out for it, you know. And I think we should be doing that on Saturday. If we do that, I'm very confident we'll have a good result against West Ham for sure.
That is fair. Aya here says, I told Aaron that there's been changes in our tactics this season and time and patience is needed. He told me off. New players need time to bed in.
I mean, he hasn't
go
been
to your room, Aya.
I mean, yeah, that's it. You're grounded. All I did was just come back with all the incorrect facts that he said to me on another channel and just match them with what I believe to be factual. So, I mean, if he's going to be upset, Aya, come on. David Aya, come on, wake up. Stop being a baby. What are we doing here? Let's just enjoy the Newcastle win.
He should exactly enjoy it. LB, I want to ask you a question. What should...
Shoot. Take it easy, boy.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you, Tel.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
Okay.
What do you think, LB, the manager should do in relation to Eze and Odegaard? Should Eze stay in the midfield centrally with Trossard out on the left, or should Eze be moved to the left and Odegaard re-established in the first team?
So I was quite impressed with Eze when he was on the pitch against Newcastle. I thought he offered Arsenal way more creativity, way more threat, way more directness. What I actually think should happen is Arsenal at home against 80% of the teams should just play Zubimendi or Rice and play both Eze and Odegaard. I don't think Arsenal Football Club, with the defence that they've got and the goalkeeper that they've got, need to be playing Rice and Zubimendi, right, at home in the majority of the games. Obviously, the big games, City, Liverpool, you know, maybe you want to tighten it up in midfield, cool, whatever, yeah? Away from home again, maybe you want to play them both. But I think they should give Eze a go in the 10, man. I just think he looked way better. Way better. Now, that doesn't mean Odegaard's finished. Like I've just said, I personally would be playing them together. Yeah? As two sort of 8s, two 8s, 10s, whatever you want to call them. Play them both and just play Rice or Zubimendi. I'd be benching Rice or Zubimendi in the majority of the games. As James says there, yeah, that's what I probably do. But so I don't know. But what I don't think should happen is, and this isn't reactionary. I said this at the start of the season. Yeah, people in the chat who heard me say it know I said it. I don't think Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard is a very balanced midfield. I don't think there's enough creativity in that midfield, which is why, if it was me, if you are going to pick one, I'd be playing Eze over Odegaard. I would. I think he's better. I think he's better at creating. Now, if you wanted to, dictate the game and, run the game from deep or whatever, play Odegaard, but you don't want him to do that. You got Rice and Zubimendi playing. So if it was me, I'd personally be playing Eze over Odegaard if I had to choose between one of them. And I'd be sticking probably Martinelli maybe on the left. I think he's more the best goal threat, but he's a bit inconsistent. That's why I said at the start of the season, I think they still needed another winger. But, the good news for Arsenal is they've got options now in that position, because previously it was Odegaard or bust. He's never going to play 1 year there. So it was Odegaard or now. It's like, Odegaard, you got to actually improve now, bro. And I actually thought, Odegaard come on, he was all right when he was fairly decent. So now he's being pushed. He knows he's not got a free ride. Let's be honest, Odegaard over the last couple of years has had a free ride at Arsenal. He can drop Stinker. He's in the team next week. Drop Stinker. He's in the team next week. He's not going to play anywhere else. Now, Odegaard, you want to play badly? All right, no problem, bro. Hold bench. Yeah, you got Eze now. So It's only good news for Arsenal, but I just don't think in the majority of the the majority of the games, I don't think Arsenal need to be playing Rice and Zubimendi.
Listen, I agree with you. What I will say to Arsenal fans is don't panic if Eze is not starting in that position in the Champions League game at home against Olympiacos. That you may be viewed as we'll save him for West Ham rotations. Because I think what you'll probably find is there'll be some gooners who didn't get their fix of moaning, who didn't get their fix of moaning at the weekend, and they'll see Eze on the bench maybe and go, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's dropped him." There's going to be rotation. I would be more focused on what your next league game is. Olympiacos, with respect, even with Eze and Rice being on the bench for that game, I think you should be able to beat them. And that's actually how you're going to win the league. Because if you look in the last 20 years of football, when Man United, when Chelsea, when City, many, many times Liverpool won the league, go look at their midweek Champions League games at home against Olympiacos and worse. They rarely start their very best team. There is 2 or 3 players rotated. So I wouldn't be over. The only thing I would say to yourself here, James, in the super chat is that may not happen in that game because of what you've got coming up against West Ham. And I know West Ham have just brought in Nuno, but I think having Eze and Odegaard on the pitch for that game could be more important. You know, I think some of your sort of fringe-esque players should get some minutes here with these boys on the bench is what I would personally do. But how about yourself, Dan? I mean, I know you like and rate both of them, but would you keep Eze in the team for the foreseeable as the main 8 or both? Hang on. There you
go. Yeah, I would definitely go with both. I said it when Rice dropped into the 6 and you had Eze and Odegaard there, we looked really, really good. Of course, we were going for it. We throwing the whole kitchen sink at them. But look, like LB said, West Ham at home, not Olympiacos, because I think, like you said, we're going to make changes in that game. I hope we are anyway. But against West Ham, yeah, I'm not sure he will do it. I think Eze might go back out to the left again. But I would love to see. I think if there's real dynamism with Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard and Eze, because Martin Odegaard, he can defend, he presses. For me, there's not a better presser in world football in his position. That boy, you watch him, even when he's playing poor, he does not stop running, and does not stop pressing. So you've got him doing that. You know, Eze is no slouch. I'm sure, you know, he can get back as well. And Rice, we all know what Rice is. He's just, for me, he's just the best pound for pound midfielder in the league. So I would love to see that. But Zubimendi,
he's not the best pound for pound midfielder in the league, bro. He's definitely not.
Who's better than him in the league?
Pound for pound. He cost over 100 million quid. He can't.
Oh, okay. No. Okay. Not price wise. I'm just saying, pound for pound, as in he's the best.
He's still not the best midfielder in the league, though.
Who do you think's better?
I've been taking Rodri all day over him with one leg.
I'm not sure anymore. Rodri's that same player.
I'd take Rodri with one leg over that.
I think Rice has way more to his game than Rodri now. But obviously, look, he's a Ballon d'Or winner. He's a legend. He's you know, Rice has to win things and all of that. But tomorrow, if I had one of them to start for my team, I'm taking Declan Rice.
I don't even know if Rice gets in my Arsenal team.
Yeah, of course he does.
I'll potentially drop him and play Zubimendi as a 6 and play Odegaard and bro, I don't even think he's guaranteed, bro.
No way, man. I don't know what you're watching at LB, man.
I'm watching an unbalanced midfield. When I watch Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard, it's unbalanced. There's not enough creativity in there. Rice is not a good creative player. So it's all left on Odegaard, and he's not creative either, really.
Rice, every season since he's joined Arsenal, he's scored more goals and he's got more assists every single season.
So how many did he get last year?
He can drag that ball. I think he got 8 last year. He can drag that ball. He can run with that ball. He can run a hell of a lot with that ball and take us up the pitch. Declan Rice.
But he can't unlock a defense.
For me, no, exactly. So that's why I would have Odegaard and Eze with Declan Rice, because Declan Rice can do it all. And then you've got Eze and Odegaard. I think that would be a phenomenal midfield, pure dynamism.
Yeah, and you could do that.
Yeah.
But saying Declan Rice is the best midfielder in the league is wild.
Well, that's just my opinion. You couldn't. You just said Rodri. Who else would you say is better than him? The Declan Rice. As a total package midfielder.
Would I rather have Caicedo?
Nah, come on, man. Don't be silly. LB, come on, man. Caicedo over Declan Rice? No way.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially, I'd take Caicedo. I'd potentially take Caicedo. Who else am I taking? See, Rice sort of like, you know, he doesn't just play 6, does he? He's a bit of a hybrid player.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Rice is a total package for me. He's absolutely phenomenal.
He's not the best. He's not the best midfielder in the league, though. That's crazy, bro.
Well, he's top 3, and I mean, look, he plays every game as well. He's always fit. He's always available. I think he's crucial to what Arsenal are trying to do. I mean, at the end there, I think Jacob Murphy got through on goal, and he just caught him up. We call him the horse, and he just caught him up, just easily took the ball off him, back on the attack. But yeah, look, it just shows we've got so many options now, and that's what we haven't had in previous years. So we are ready and primed to go and win this Premier League title now. So as much as I love Arteta, he has to go and do it now. We have to win the Premier League.
The super chat here says New Trossard drifted into the middle and Calafiori held width. I think that's a blueprint for Eze at left wing with Odegaard, Rice, Zubimendi in the middle. Strong.
Could work.
That could work, Tevin. It can. I think that's the scary part about Arsenal is they have all of these different weapons that they can now draw upon. On Declan Rice, I do think he's one of the best in the league. I think he's fantastic. I think he gets so much stick. Part of that's the money. Part of that's because he's at Arsenal. But yeah, I think he's been phenomenal. Colton here says where has Dr. Delusional Hamza been prepping for Arsenal alter ego? Hashtag come back home Hamza without the Chelsea and City take the terrace to a peaceful place. He was on the show at the weekend when City won. He was on the match reaction show. Get yourselves tuned in for him all. He's here, barring 1 or 2. He actually comes to all the City reactions, even when they were losing. He's great because every week you don't know he is like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get. Like literally 1 minute City are the best team in the world. The next minute he thinks the club should be sold. I'm exaggerating slightly, but I'm giving you an idea of the contrast in his views. It's kind of mad. Using Eze and Odegaard to play low block or Rice Eze Zubimendi. You mean versus a low block? Yeah, I mean that will make sense because you're not going to need. I think that whether it's Rice or whether it's Zubimendi, them and 2 centre backs can take care of most teams' counter attacks because they're very quick. Or Rice, they're quick with the centre back, so I don't think you got to worry. I mean, you literally did it to win the game against Newcastle, and they had the likes of Alanga on the pitch, and you handled it. So it isn't too much of a problem. Champions League wise this week, the English teams have all got very winnable games, haven't they? I was just looking at them today at Arsenal.
No, do you think so? I think Galatasaray could beat Liverpool. You know, they've won 6 out of 6. Terry, yeah. Have you seen their team? When I was looking at the lineup, some of the players that Galatasaray have got, honestly, going away to Galatasaray, Liverpool after feeling deflated after that loss. I don't know, man. I think Galatasaray and Benfica could cause.
They got beat by Frankfurt 5-1 in the last Champions League game.
Who did Galatasaray?
Yeah.
Did they?
At Galatasaray.
It's in Galatasaray. It's in Turkey.
I fancy
Galatasaray. It's a tough place to play, but you still expect Liverpool to go down and get the job done. I expect City to beat Monaco.
They lose 5-1 to Frankfurt away from home. Yeah. Right?
Speaking of who? Sorry, yeah, they're away from home. They're away from home, but they got. I don't mean disrespectfully towards the Turkish league. It's hard to take what you do there seriously compared to Spurs. Ironically, as we see, are playing Bodo Glimt, who they played in the semi-final of the Europa League. Who else is out there? Yeah, you'll beat
Monaco.
See, Chelsea at home to Benfica. I think they should be winning, but I'm intrigued by it. It's a real intriguing one. Sorry, no Palmer. How they going to react? Arsenal Olympiacos is easy. Speaking of City versus Monaco, have you seen who the Monaco manager is?
No, is it?
He's Austrian, and his name.
Ragnar? No way.
No, his name is Adolf Hutter.
That's pretty close, man. Wow. Yeah, I've actually heard of that guy before. Yeah, I've heard of that guy.
But he goes by Addy. Yeah,
I've heard of him before.
Surely you change your name.
Wow. It's mad as well because where he's from, I think in large Austria, maybe not the same as Germany. I mean, Goldbridge Googled it earlier. It's illegal in some parts of Europe to even to call someone Adolf. Like, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, mate, that's so unfortunate. 1970 he was born as well, so his parents had 25 years to know. Like his parents are maybe born just after the war, but my word, I mean, it's one of those names you just, there's certain names in this world you just avoid, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? It's, I certainly would, but there we go. But no, I think all the English teams are going to win this week. I think they'll all win. If you're going to pick one that isn't going to win, if you're going to pick the English side coupon buster, who are you boys going with losing?
I say Chelsea. Is that all right? Can I go Chelsea?
Of course you're going to go Chelsea. Of course you're going to go Chelsea.
Well, they've got no Palmer. They're playing against, isn't it Mourinho's side, isn't it?
Jose Mourinho.
Mourinho's going back there. I think Benfica might do something, man. I'm going to be watching it tonight anyway, doing that little hate.
Do you think that could be the game, LB? Do you think losing that game could be the one where the Chelsea fans finally start to actually get angry, as opposed to pretending they're not?
Well, I think some of them are getting angry already, but yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? Because again, if they lose today, right, without Palmer, I think again just proves that they're just Palmer FC, innit?
Yeah.
Which I think they might be. I think they might be a Palmer FC, bro.
If they lose, that's 0 points.
Three games.
Three games.
What was the first?
They got beat by Bayern Munich in the first game.
Oh yeah, that's mad. You know,
they lost 3 games in a row, right? Include the last 2 Prem games in this game.
They did. Yeah, 3 games in a row. But the thing is, as well, last year, right, you needed 16 points to qualify in the top 8. So if they've lost if they lose tonight and lose the first 2 games, they've got what is it? We play 8 games, right? So they've got 6 games. So
I'm looking at Chelsea's
not
fixtures.
giving them much room for error, is it?
Right, Chelsea's fixtures: Benfica, right? Then they play Liverpool, losable, very losable. Then they're away to Forest. Now I know it's and it isn't last year, but hard place to go. Then they play Ajax at home; they should win. Then they've got Sunderland at home; they should win. Then they're away to Wolves. So I think they have 3 very winnable fixtures there. Then they play Spurs away. That's going to be tough for them this year. And then they play Carrick. Champions League wise, I think they've got quite a good run. They've got quite a good run up until they play. Let's just do their Champions League games only, right? So they play Benfica, then Ajax, then away to Carabao. Then they play Barcelona at home, away to Atalanta.
That's not easy.
Home to Paphos. I assume that's
who Bayern Munich got today.
It's Paphos, isn't it?
Cypriot.
Paphos. Sorry,
yeah.
The top of the league.
So whenever I read anything in Greek, I always think, have you guys ever watched that TV show, Staff Sells Let's Flats? It's like a spoofy comedy show. Very good. And then they're away to Napoli. It's so important they win today.
Tough. Yeah, it is. It is mad important. If they don't win today, they ain't getting top 8, mate. No chance. No way they're getting top 8. So it's a massive game
for the playoffs, wouldn't they? Yeah.
They'll probably have to go for the playoffs, which, that just depends on the draw, innit? You know what I mean? Like, we got Real Madrid last year. So we were just cooked straight off the bat. But, this is why I want to take it mad sick. Because I remember last year, last year, no one really knew how many points you needed. Yeah. Because it was the first time we'd done it. So everyone was like, I don't know. So I remember that first game that we played against Inter Milan. I was like, I'll take a draw here. No problem. Inter Milan, first game, Champions League, get a draw. We got a draw. I was like, yeah, buzzing, move on. And we ended up falling off. And then so now I'm like, nah, we need to be winning these football matches, man. Well, so game 1, we won. I want to win against Monaco.
11 points was enough because that's what you guys got.
That's for the playoffs.
But that was to get into the playoffs. But then one team, Dynamo Zagreb, got 11 points and didn't make it because of goal difference. So to guarantee it, it was 12 points needed. So if they don't win today, if they lose today, that means they're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of their last 6 games, they're going to need 4 wins. And they go away to Napoli, they play Barcelona, and away to Atalanta. You look at those 3 and they're really hard. It means they've got no room for slip-ups anywhere else. Because if they, for instance, lost to Benfica, drew with Ajax, it's good. You then almost need to be perfect. Which, by the way, this is what I love about this league phase. And we, as you say, LB, we know more about it. If some really good teams or big teams lose early, it makes every game must win because we now know what everybody needs to get. I mean, top 8 wise last year, 16 points to get into that. So you lose today. What's 6 times 3 is what? Is 18. It means they would actually have to be almost perfect after that to make the top 8. Yeah. Which I don't see happening. No disrespect, because they're playing really good teams.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. No way. So yeah, it's I think Chelsea just like, yeah, they're in a bit of a sticky situation here, man. And obviously, no Cole Palmer does not help them. So see how they get on, man. But other players, you know, they're spending all this money. You know, if I'm wrong and all the Chelsea fans are right, then all these wonderful players that they've got everywhere need to step up. You Gittins, you Garnachos.
Big game for Chelsea today. Big game.
Yeah, I mean, I know Real Madrid and PSG won their last 3 games to qualify as well. Maybe Chelsea fans are going to get offended by this, but those teams are both better than Chelsea for me. So it's a very different kettle of fish. Very different kettle of fish. Carl B here says, what about Martinelli? Keep Martinelli on the bench, man. Great from the bench.
Yeah, but you know, Trossard, man.
If you're going to start someone tomorrow, though, you could start Martinelli. I think he'll still go strong. He always does Champions League.
You've got to go strong in this Champions League.
You have to go strong.
Man. You can't be getting in that playoffs.
Swapping Martinelli for Trossard. That's you know, they're both about the same level for me. Them 2 players.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Gentlemen, as super chat from earlier, I missed. Sorry, James, who says, would Glasner even leave Palace for United?
Yeah, of course you would.
I mean, it's already been
100%.
documented by Ben Jacobs, who's been 100%. Very, very good on Man United news in the last year in terms of being ahead of the curve. And he's just said that if he got offered the job, he'd jump at it. And of course, again, I know a lot of people hate hearing this, but a lot of managers are attracted to it and they're prepared to put their reputation on the line because, one, it's ridiculously good money, always. And secondly, if you are the man to fix the club, I don't think rivals understand what that does for your status in the game. Imagine you're the man that fixes Man United and gets us back to challenging or winning titles. Your name will be remembered in football forever. And I don't know if you can say that about all clubs. I really, really don't. Gentlemen, thank you all for being on. Viewers, you're amazing. Thank you very, very much indeed. This is going to redirect you somewhere. I need to check where because I didn't do it. This is going to redirect you to Footy Judge Mo's channel. So go and support my brother over there. We're live after the Champions League games tonight here on the Football Terrace. I look forward to seeing you all back around 9:45. LB, Positive Dan, thank you both for being on the show. It means a great deal to me, gentlemen. Thank you. Everybody else, take care. Goodbye.
Thanks for having us on.
Always a pleasure, mate. See you soon, people. Bye-bye.